Hey, it's Dennis O'Brien back again on Let's Talk About It. And once again, we have a fabulous guest from the area here, right here in town. And it's Debbie Bear Fiske. Okay, I always throw the Bear in because she was a big star in basketball, as many of you know, at UConn back in the late 80s, early 90s. And she was the point guard on a team that went, the first team, UConn women's basketball, Gino Auriemma, that went to the Final Four.
That's right.
Right?
Yes.
We're going to talk about that a little bit.
We're going way back. Fond memories.
Right, but she's here in town now, in case you didn't know, and she is the Director of Recreation for the town of Windham.
Yes.
And how's that going?
It's going great.
You were working hard, I bet.
Working hard.
Yeah.
Yes. It's one of those, no rest for the weary. Just when we think we're doing some good things, we want to keep on always trying to improve and, reach more people and be creative and, bring a lot of programming to Windham.
Looks to me like the kind of job where you're always having to create new things, new programs, new events, all kinds of stuff. Not just baseball, basketball, and football type stuff.
Right. I think a
Soccer.
lot of people, they think it's just sports. And so, yes, that, we
It's
do.
not.
Right. It's not a lot of that. So I think there's one thing where, there's things that you do that work and like clockwork, seasonal and yearly that, yes, right now we're currently in the middle of rec basketball season. So the youth are out there from biddy ball through 3rd through 8th grade playing various teams. And that's more of that sport atmosphere, but it's a lot more than that. And that's where it's fun to be creative, whether it's a simple, I shouldn't say simple because we have a lot of fun as our Easter egg hunt or something of that nature that are coming up. But things as, we have soon approaching is National Girls and Women in Sports Day.
I want to talk about that now and maybe repeat it later in the show, and maybe sometimes people tune in late. I want to make sure there's a big event coming up this weekend, right?
Yes, Sunday.
Okay,
So,
talk about that, please.
So part of National Girls and Women's Sports Day, the official date was February 4th, and it throughout the country that was celebrated. And what we wanted to do is to bring that to Windham. And so part of that is about celebrating the growth of sports. You will say way back when in your time, you always say that there was really difficult times to have programs for girls.
Not much at all.
And we've come a long way, yes, but the idea is to celebrate that, but then to support, bring confidence. There are all kinds of research out there that's saying for girls who get involved in not just sports, it can be dance and any kind of format of that they're a lot more successful in life and continue to go into great leadership roles. So we're doing that by having on Sunday a girls and women only event at the Windham Community Center. So usually we're closed on Sundays, but we're opening it, and it's one of those open to all. Free to come on in, and it will be open gym and open swim, but we also have a Zumba class, there's an aqua aerobics class, so a variety of activities, and it's more to use the fitness center. And one of the fun things I just put a little twist on is that we're having a girls hoop clinic power hour that we're going to run to do some basketball skills and games and have a little fun with that too.
You're going to take advantage of your tremendous skills and experience and teach a little basketball.
We are.
Ooh.
We are. We're going to have the fun. And you know what?
I'm going to sneak in there, man.
You should.
I could learn something.
You
Definitely.
might.
Well,
I love too about
it doesn't much matter anymore. I can't play the game anymore. I have arthritis in my knees, and I can go out and shoot around a little bit, but that's it.
That's all right. You can say you move it or lose it. I always say. But one of the fun things.
Well, I'm losing it.
One of the fun things is that we do have there's a senior women's basketball team. And when I say senior, they are 55 and above. And I don't know if you ever heard of them.
By that.
Yeah, they're amazing.
I have heard of them. I know some of the women.
Yeah, and I think there's a 82-year-old playing.
Wow.
They'll give the difference on it. But what is fun is I asked them, I said, hey, there's an opportunity. We're doing Girls and Women's Sports Day. Come on out. So some of them are going to volunteer and help me out, too, with making sure, we can break down to go to baskets and everything. So they're going to be, and I think it's about being great role models, too, right?
So we're looking for, females of all ages, right?
Females of all ages.
No matter
all
how
ages.
old you are.
Grandma, you're young,
Kids.
you're old, you're in between.
Obviously, kids are, we want to focus on kids to some extent, but everybody's welcome.
Everybody's welcome.
And that's
yes.
Sunday morning starting at 8:30 a.m.?
Yes.
And it goes till what, 11:30, 12?
Noontime.
3.5 hours of all kinds of fun experiences for women and girls.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
And that is this Sunday. That is the 8th of February. and that's in recognition of National Girls and Women's Sports Day. You know, I didn't even know about that. And I was involved in girls' sports in a big way with Willimantic Little League. I helped start I actually was the prime mover in starting a program for girls in Willimantic Little League.
Oh, wow.
When somebody told me, Stan Kokoska, that you could have softball in the Little League, and they didn't. I didn't know that. I thought it was all baseball, and some of the girls were playing baseball, and they were pretty good too.
I bet.
And Diana Pepin is one, and she is now the coach at Eastern. Has been there
Right,
for 20,
I recognize that name. I
almost
thought,
25
all right.
years now, coaching at Eastern. Very successful.
Started with your little league?
Well, she started playing Little League baseball.
Okay.
It was before
I love that.
before me.
Yeah.
I was lucky. I got several graduates of Little League baseball. And that's why Stan Kokoska wanted me to do it, because he wanted to make sure there was a place for girls to go after the 8 to 12-year-old Little League baseball thing, and this was for we started with 13 to 15-year-olds,
right,
and it was fantastic. Our fourth year, we won the district championship, and it was great. And Diana coached that year because she was 16 and too old to play, but that was her first coaching experience, and I can't. I know she would tell you right now if she were here that she didn't learn that much from me.
But it's opportunity, though, right?
Well, you know what? I was a great game coach in terms of a situational coach.
Right.
But in terms of the way coaches coach today, and that includes basketball, coaching is much better.
Right. Well,
in my view, on every level.
Yeah. Well, I think more people have done it, more experience. And I think the beauty with sports, too, coaches are humongous impacts in life, whether boys or girls. And so, as long as we have people out there that are caring what is best for the kids and not about their win-loss record,
right.
in the early going,
That's
I
right.
think that's huge. And you were talking about starting the Little League, girls playing baseball because there wasn't softball or anything.
Yeah, they played baseball.
I think because we have a Super Bowl weekend too. There's a lot of fun, a lot of sports going on this weekend. One of the things I think it's great because girls, would want to play football. That's not necessarily an opportunity that was out there, but you hear now about punters or kickers, but there is an actual flag football going on now. And so my daughter had played it through. It was an extra sport at the time because she had other seasons, but they went down to Giant Stadium. So and now it's become part of the CIAC here in Connecticut. So I think we talk about, that's why it's important to celebrate Girls and Women in Sports Day, because it is about expanding opportunities and roles for women in play or in leadership roles. Or how about, I say Renee Montgomery and many other women, women that are now, they're the general managers. Talk about Jen Rosati, Morgan Tuck.
Yes.
So, and it does not, you don't have to be a UConn basketball player. It's just that the opportunities are more out there for it. And I think it's great to see it grow.
Well, I think everybody should play a sport, team sport, individual sports. I'm more into team sports than individual sports. I grew up right near a golf course. I played a few times. I was playing a lot of basketball at the time, and for me it was too slow. I didn't have the patience for it. I just wanted to go, go, go. I would grab my clubs. Of course, I didn't have a golf cart, and I'd run down the fairway, and the guy said, "Wait, you can't do that. That's not the way you behave on a golf course." I said, "Well, I think I'll stick to basketball. And baseball at the time."
Right.
Anyway, let's get back to the community center in a while. I just want to make sure people know about the National Girls and Women's Sports Day event, Sunday morning, 8:30. At the Wyndham Senior Community Center. At the Rec Center.
Rec Center, correct. Well, Wyndham Community Center, but
it's
on
the
the
same
recreation,
building.
same
it's a
building.
Nice big building.
Yeah.
And,
come on in and you just check it out. You know what? You want to stay for a little bit, but we will have some, breakfast goodies, bagels and some. We try to healthy snacks since, we're trying to promote that, Women in Sports Day. But come on in, check it out, and it's just a great opportunity to meet and greet maybe other people you never met before in the community, but come on out, and it might be fun to pick up a basketball or go swimming and use the fitness center.
It'll be a lot of fun, and it's a terrific building, beautiful building. I mean, we worked hard to get that thing approved by the voters, and I'm so proud that we have it, and so proud of the time that was spent on it by myself and also a woman who's going to be walking through the door in a minute. State Representative Susan Johnson is here.
I think we need a drum roll.
Drum roll, all right.
Drum roll for you, our special guest. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, it's great to have her on the show, and that's going to be a great way to start off Super Bowl Sunday for the women and girls
That's
to
what
be
I
down
think.
at the community center right here on 1 Gilson Square, right downtown. Beautiful building, plenty of parking, and a great event for women and girls. All kinds of activities, 8:30 a.m. to 12 noon. We're going to talk more about it later in the show, but now I want to get back into your history,
Well,
your bio.
Let me just say one thing about the event that you're
Sure,
having
you
on
deserve
Sunday.
it. You have the right to say something, Susan.
Thank you, Dennis, and thank you again for being on the show, and thank you for amazing work getting women and girls interested in sports and becoming team members, because it's all about being part of a team as we go through school and we go into the workplace, and understanding that team concept is really one way to do it is through sports, and I just want to praise you for that, because I think it's a really important way to socialize all people in our society.
Thank you so much. A pleasure to do it, because I couldn't agree with you more. A lot of times, education is so important, and people don't understand that being involved in a sport, on a team, and doing that is so educational, and it becomes in very various ways of doing that. And there's things, life skills that are coming out of that opportunity, whatever that sport may be. So that's one of the things I think as we hope to grow this Women's in Sports celebration, because I think there's opportunities we're trying team building and opportunities for women, girls, start young to lead.
Yeah, I didn't have the chance when I was growing up, and it's one of the things we missed out on. And so when I took women's history and studies in the School of Social Work back in the day, it was really quite an interesting thing to see how we were culturally raised to be isolated, and then having girls playing the sports really opened up a whole world of society for females, and it's just been a wonderful way to grow. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more.
From what I've read about you, you started as a gymnast.
I did. How
Well,
about
that's
that?
great. That's a
Right.
great preparation for
Right.
anything,
Right.
any athletic activity.
I really truly think that's the core, I would say, if not, and no pun on that core strength that you have to have as a gymnast, that really ignited a lot of the direction I went in being successful in athletics. And my mom tells me the story. It was like I was in gym class, and you talk about teachers being good role models for and
Sure.
putting kids in the right direction. Had said, you really need to look into signing your daughter up for gymnastics. She would be great, all this. So my mom says, all right, and I fell in love with gymnastics, and really thought that was what I was going to be playing in or doing in college, and then all of a sudden my sister starts playing basketball, and I'm thinking she's out there shooting hoops with my dad, and I'm thinking, well, I don't want to be left out. Can I play basketball too? Never knowing that, hey, many years later, the direction it would take me.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing about gymnastics as well. Our grandchild started off as gymnastics, and her gymnast career was ended with COVID. But she had that inkling to do gymnastics from the time she was a little one. I mean, she told the parents, "I want to be a gymnast," and so, but when she did her ballet, it was great. She could always do ballet. Now she's doing the pitching for East Hartford High, and that she's doing a very, very good job that way as well. She's got really great talent, and she has been able to utilize it in numerous ways. But gymnastics is spot on. I certainly wish I had done it. But
She's a really good athlete.
It's like the strength, the flexibility.
yeah, the
core
flexibility is
strength.
like,
Yeah.
the timing. Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Presentation. So a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
hard work.
It
but
is. It is.
I respect
anyway.
those gymnasts.
You got into
So do I.
basketball, and you played in high school, and
Yes,
you were very
played
good
in
in
high
high
school,
school,
right.
and
Yep.
you were a point. Were you a point guard in high school?
Yes. Well, it's more of, I'm going to say this, a shooting guard, and people will find that hard to believe, because once I got to Connecticut, my role was you're the last option to shoot because you have an All-American on your right, you have the best
Yeah.
three-point shooter on your left.
Right.
Your role is to get the ball to the right people at the right time. But in high school, that was a role, I think I was just a lot quicker and more of that scoring mentality in that role. And then knowing that when going to UConn and anywhere, when I was in decision making, that level, Division I, that I would be taking on more of a point guard role.
You probably had no idea at that time, where UConn was going in terms of women's basketball.
No.
Nobody did.
Well, funny story, if I can
Yep,
tell
sure.
it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's what we're
again,
here for.
all right. So I'm, recruiting. I'm like being recruited, looking at different places. It happened to be a lot of Big East schools, but I make the decision to come to UConn. So I'm literally, this is high school, senior year. I'm in the cafeteria, and somebody, one of the friends was like, "Where are you going? Where are you going to play?" And I'm like, "UConn." And they're like, "What? UConn?" Like, yeah, UConn. Why are you going to Alaska?
I knew that.
And I'm like, what? And they thought it was YUKON, and I'm
Right,
thinking, no,
right.
this was like that was the next fall, or the men they were not winning they didn't win the NIT yet, so that was kind of like at least they were on the national stage, the men's basketball team. But I was like, no, UConn, Big East, Georgetown battles, and I think in that area, Villanova, Georgetown, Syracuse, St. John's, those were the teams, and
God.
we're
Big
not
East
aware
was
of
very
UConn.
strong back then.
Right, that was my territory. So I got my story of where I'm going to UConn, and when I did visit UConn, it really was Gene Auriemma that sold me on the whole school, because at that time they were building Gamble. He had this vision, and saying, "Oh, we're going to win Big East championships. We're going to go to the Final Four." He's telling me all this, and I'm like, "Sure, okay, great." Not truly understanding what a feat that would be to go ahead and do it, but he said it, and we did it.
Great to have big
Bravo!
goals.
Congratulations.
He had a big goal.
Great,
and
great.
The rest is history, and
Right.
it's fantastic
Yes.
history. And we're going to talk a little bit about what you do now with UConn and women's basketball.
Yes.
But okay, so after that, you graduated from UConn, and then you went to work.
I went to work.
You went to work, and you went to work at St. Joseph's College.
Yeah.
Right out of UConn.
Yes. So, well, yes, it was one of those. It's funny how that again works too. Was which everybody in case it's now University of St. Joseph, but
Right.
Started at St. Joseph College, and it was one of those. Bill Cardarelli, he was went to be my boss. Was the athletic director there.
Yeah.
I, so to speak, recruited me because his wife, Mary Cardarelli, was the athletic trainer for the men's basketball team.
Oh,
and we
at
actually
UConn.
at UConn.
Yeah.
And so when we go to the Final Four that year, he came with his wife as she was filling out as our athletic trainer. But he right away was like, you need to come. We're starting. It was the beginning of an NCAA program, Division III. They didn't have women. They didn't have athletics, so it was like starting
Right.
a program. And he's like, I need you to be my assistant. You're going to do health and wellness and fitness classes and run different things and run the recreation and different. And I thought, okay, sounds. It wasn't the direction I was going. I wasn't thinking I would be coaching, college athletics and doing all that. But that's where it started. And
You were there for 22 years.
22 years.
Wow.
So did you know,
That's
Susan,
great.
who's that professor from Eastern that later became the president at St. Joseph's?
Yeah, she's an economist, and and her
remember
name.
her name?
Why do you ask somebody who never remembers
Put
her
on
name?
the spot. If I see your face, right? You'll know who it is. I'm like, oh my
I know
goodness.
exactly who it is, and she
I can't
actually
pull it out.
recommended our daughter to go to the University of Connecticut to get her master's in economics.
Oh, wow.
And we just talked about it, and you actually came
I
up with
came
her
up
name.
with the name. And all I did-
But now he's asking you.
And I know who she is. I've talked to her,
It'll come
and
to you.
she's invited me to St. Joseph's numerous times. And we have a long family history. And a woman I used to work with, who was a nun, and she came to work at legal assistance to Medicare patients, and then she went to St. Joseph's too. So we have a good history there. And maybe if I keep talking about it, her name will pop up.
I had a great experience there, I will say.
I will think of it.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
And later on, Jim Calhoun became the coach there for
Right, just
1
more
year.
in last,
Maybe
I
2
don't know
years?
how many years ago,
None?
5 years or so?
Not long ago. That's where he ended his
And they-
career.
Right, yeah.
And they actually invited men to be have teams at St. Joe's
Right,
as well, which I
right.
was really impressed with.
Yeah. I think it enhanced it, and some people, I think, when they were making the change, it was discussion of, will that take away from the female experience? And I think if anything, it enhanced it because
I think so.
Right, and I think the opportunities too became even more so opportunities for women because again it's about Title IX and making sure that what is available, the opportunities for men can be there for women. And St. Joe's was a great experience for me, and I was able to, as funny as all my experiences from UConn playing, like then all of a sudden I didn't just coach basketball, I coached tennis.
Yeah.
And loved it, had a great experience. But it's one of those things I always feel like I was really close with Coach Auriemma, but there's opportunities with Coach Daly, who being the assistant coach, was all those little, cross the T's, dot the I's, the pain in the neck rules that you didn't necessarily appreciate as a player, but you understand when you come full circle. And it was fun to be all of a sudden understand the full circle of coaches. You think, oh, they have it easy. Then you realize, whew. coach is it's a tough job.
A very,
a lot
very,
of
very
big
tough job.
responsibility. to take
Understanding,
in that.
understanding each player, their psychology, how they're going to fit in, and play with the team, that kind of thing is a big deal. And I really have a real appreciation for that, even though I never played any sports in my life. But we did have a former coach of New Britain High, Joe Arasimowicz, who was the football coach there. I'm sure you're aware. Berlin High, rather. I keep saying New Britain because of you, but it's really Berlin
He was born
High.
in New Britain.
You're the hard-hitting New Britain guy. All right.
No, he was on heart. He was born there.
And anyway, he, a lot of the ideas and how he analyzed to his players at the Capitol I really came through in terms of his understanding how to relate to people and what to do. And we even had him on the show, and I mentioned that to him about how I appreciated the fact he really got who everybody was. And you have to be able to do that as a coach.
You do. And, there's different buttons to push. How do you motivate? The screaming and yelling is not something for everybody. Some people enjoy it, some people don't. But it's and different styles. But there's a lot more the nuances in saying, what can be the right thing for the team, and how do you reach everybody? It's not a perfect cookie cutter set. And I think Gino, I have to say, he's managed, I think 99.9% of the time to just have the right nuance for his teams and from across the board, and nothing has changed. If you go to a game and you see up on the board, the humongous, TV screens now, play hard, play smart, have fun. That hasn't changed. That was the motto he wrote on our, the dry erase board when we started back there. We'd have all everything about the scout, different things going on, and across there, those are the three things we always had to remember: play hard, play smart, and have fun.
And President Rona Free at the St.
Rona Free, right.
At St. Joseph's
I just thought of it.
Rona Free. I perkled up.
I didn't realize you meant president. I did have that name. See, I'm coming along.
All right,
She
me
became
too.
the president of St. Joseph's. Maybe after
Right.
you left, or
I think my last day there was her first day, so I met her in passing as we were.
Yes.
We went out. And
I
she was
actually
coming
really
in.
never met her. I just texted her.
So then each other, which pretty much is the way everything is today, right?
Well,
Through
yeah.
the waves, the internet.
Although she did know Leslie, and like I say, our daughter Leslie O'Brien,
Went
she
to Eastern.
went to Eastern, and she was teaching economics at Eastern, and said, "Hey, you should actually go to UConn and get your master's degree."
Susan, stop. Okay, it's
stop.
time for us to take a break. We're halfway through the show at least, and it's time for our wonderful sponsors to say some things to our wonderful listeners. We'll be right back with Debbie Bayer Fiske. Hey, it's Dennis O'Brien. I'm here with my co-host, Susan Johnson, and Matt Rupar and his intern. And we're lucky to be joined by Debbie Bayer Fiske. Okay, I've known her as Debbie Bayer because I saw her play at UConn, and that's who I knew her as. And she was a terrific player, a great point guard, a very, very great defensive player. Always on the move, moving around all the time, busy. Must have been hard to play against her if she was playing defense against you, right?
Yes, I did take pride in defense, and
Me
so
too.
that was one of those things.
I love
You
that.
I figured that's just grit and
Yep.
determination. And if they beat you once, all right, they're not. I got to adapt from that. They're not going to beat you twice.
We are on the same page on that. I love defense. That's one reason I didn't like playing golf. Another reason, or bowling. There's no defense. I like to play defense. And what are you going to do in golf? You're going to go, make faces.
Now that
at
would be an
somebody?
interesting game. Maybe you're going to create something golf
No, I
with
don't.
defense in front of you,
No, I don't think so. I think there's enough games.
or at least the heckling.
No, it's not my thing.
You can mock the swing of the bad golfer.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm not going
Happy
there.
Gilmore,
Not
you
at
know.
all. I only have so much time. I learned that as I got older and older. There's only so much time, and I don't have time for that.
There you go.
But I do have time for basketball. I
All
love
right.
basketball. And you, after you left St. Joseph's after 22 great years, then you went to Kingswood Oxford School, the Wyverns.
The Wyverns.
What's
How
a
about
wyvern?
that? And people always ask. So
I know what it is.
it will
Go ahead.
say, well, again, they'll always say it's a dragon, and that would not be acceptable answer if you were from
It's not
from
complete.
KO.
It's not complete.
Because right, in a sense, but I would give you, it kind of has the look, the mascot in that sense. But it was for seafaring. Seafaring, right? Is that what your understanding
Well,
is?
it was a dragon with only two legs
Right.
and wings.
And
It didn't
wings.
have
I think by the time there, we
Arms.
kind of changed that logo a little bit. The
And it
mascot.
had a tail with that ended in a diamond.
Yes.
And I know that only because I looked it up.
It was for bravery, and it was camaraderie and bravery, and that was the thing for those sea waving
When my
travelers.
granddaughters played for their middle school team, they were on the team called the Dragons. And I said, it fits you girls. I
There
said,
you
you
go.
girls are dragons.
Fire
Why are you
breathing.
tough?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be tough.
Now
You
they're
got to be tough.
East Hartford or Hornets, and I.
Okay.
Now she's a hornet.
She's gone from being a dragon to
All right.
a real
She
stinger.
went from a dragon to a hornet.
Pretty good.
Something that bothers
that.
people.
Yeah.
And she is a great defensive player. She's very fast.
Excellent.
Like I said, she was a gymnast when she was younger.
It's in the genes, right? Was that it?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think so.
absolutely. Yeah. No,
I think
really.
so.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Kingswood, Oxford. My great aunt wrote the English books for that school.
Really?
Yeah. She was a
Long time ago.
she it was like she graduated from Harvard
Interesting.
Seminary in 1938, but she couldn't get ordained because she was a woman until the 1970s. So she taught English and wrote poetry. I have a lot of her poem books.
Oh my goodness.
Claring Coffin Grenfell, and I had a legislative aide who whose father teaches there now. And he wrote a Harvard Current article about my great aunt Clarine because she came and spoke to the classes there, and she had the English books that she had written.
Wow. I love that story.
Yeah, I'm just so impressed with her. The first woman to graduate from Harvard Seminary in 1938.
Wow. Oh, neat.
Okay, so after the
Family history.
There you go.
and then you went to Columbia to work
to
for
Columbia,
Columbia.
yep.
And now you're here in Willimantic.
Willimantic,
And
yes.
all this great all these great activities you've had, all these great opportunities to do great things and to use your creativity, your athletic skill, your great intelligence. It all came together, and it made you ready to come to Willimantic, which is not
Willimantic.
easy. I come from hard-hitting New Britain. I don't think Willimantic is much different. It can be very tough, and there's a lot of challenges here, but it is a great town, Willimantic, Wyndham.
Yeah, I
and,
agree.
And the reason it's a great town is because everybody is welcome here. There's nobody
right.
that is not welcome here in this town, and it is a wonderful town, but sometimes it don't come easy.
And I just want to say about Willimantic, I just think that we were in New Orleans a couple of years ago, and we're just like a mini New Orleans. We got the rivers, we got all kinds of things, historic houses, historic districts. We have the similar. I just kind of
Except
felt
for
like
cold weather, we have.
the vibe there seemed so similar. And by the way, when we were there, we brought the cold weather with us. So
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was kind of cool when we were there, but not like this.
no,
this.
this has been unusually cold, I think.
Yeah, it has.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we're getting up to the point where the present now, where you are here in Willimantic. You are the director of recreation for the town of Wyndham. And how long have you been in that position now?
2 years now.
2 years.
2
Wow,
years.
time flies.
Yeah, it does fly.
Wow.
It really seems that it was just yesterday starting.
And I was looking at your. I've read some of the reports that you or somebody else there has written. Who is Therese?
Oh, Therese Aarons, yes, my assistant.
She's your assistant.
Assistant, yes.
So she wrote a report, an annual report. You may have written them too, but I happened to stumble over it today on Rob Zarnetsky's annual report about all the things that you did, you as a group, but you as the leader of the group
Oh, yeah.
during the last year to put in all these
Oh,
incredible
that was our year-end wrap-up, yes.
year-end
Yeah,
wrap-up, all these
yes.
incredible programs. I have it right here. All these incredible programs, all these incredible activities for all ages of people, and my focus is on kids. But certainly you're taking good care of the kids.
Yeah, we're definitely...
Lots of things for kids to do there in the Wyndham Recreation Department and the community center.
Yes, thank you. And I think one most recently, just when you're talking about end of the year,
Yeah.
we had a lot of, we tried for the first time and to do always something kind of winter wonderland, around the holidays. The first year we did something outside in the lights at Louder Park. Loved it. It was great. But then we weren't so sure. You can never be, the Mother Nature can be temperamental. So we're like, how do we make sure and think, all this cold and the snow that we're getting, but we're like, let's do something. We'll use the indoors gymnasium. We want to make sure Santa comes to visit and people get, pictures and a lot of things. So we did a Candyland, and it was received really well. It was fun to see adults, not just kids. And it, obviously, people think, Christmas time or the holidays, whatever, maybe more for the kids. But it is certainly for every age. And we had a candy line. So that was one of those things we finished up with that we really enjoyed. And it was fun because it was your typical, but it was life-size candy land. So you had to get through the maze to get to the end and visit. I can't even remember what we called it now, but it was some kind of candy castle at the end. So that was one of our most recent fun things that we did.
I love the things that you have here, like I like the aqua aerobics. I mean, that looks to me like a lot of fun. And I used to remember, I can't, now I'm going to blank on the name of the famous movie star that did all those gymnastic things in the pool.
Esther Williams.
Esther Williams.
Yes.
All right, he got that one.
Yeah.
Hey, not bad.
Synchronized swimming. Do you remember that?
Oh, I know.
Oh, my goodness. That's a
Yeah.
Esther Williams is a
Yeah.
huge movie
Yeah.
star.
Is that what this is like? Is this aqua aerobics
So
similar
you know
to
what?
that?
Aqua aerobics, and by the way, we can try Sunday. We'll have the class, free of charge. Come on out there. Jeannie Zuzel's an awesome instructor right there, but it's more of like you're doing aerobics, I'm gonna say, in the water. So you get in there and you're moving around, and whether it's arm raises or shoulders, you're doing some like say aqua
I
jogging.
do that myself.
But,
in the,
but it's
in the
zero
pool.
resistance. There is resistance of the water, but zero on your body.
Right.
So the intent,
That's-
if
you
know
get
what,
the
my joints
flexibility.
are sore, or
Right,
this or
right.
that, or I got a bum knee.
No, it makes you feel
can
better.
do it in the water.
Makes you feel better. It's
And
a
what
great- it's a
happens
great-
is, I
great
think,
activity.
one of the things that happens is, I think that when you're in the water, you don't get that rubbing on your joints like you do when you have gravity pushing down on you.
Right.
So you get that flexibility when you're in the water, and it's really a great thing.
It offers. So you're getting a great workout, and you don't have to have the after effects. After we do have an aqua aerobics is something we offer Monday through Friday, and those. Men and women. Everybody thinks it's just the women, but we have men in there too. And they come out. They always say, "Oh, I can start my day now," because they get going with that, and it invigorates you. So it's aqua aerobics, but other people may want to do playing basketball or something else. But getting that exercise, and it's amazing how good you will feel after.
No, I like aqua aerobics.
Yeah, I love
think it's great.
I like to know more about Drums Alive, the cardio drumming, which is something as we all age, we want to know. We want to exercise that heart. And how does that Drums Alive work?
So you know what? It's looked great. I always hear the music's pumping and so what it is, you literally are drumming. It's drumsticks, and they have stability balls, the big fat exercise balls. If you've seen those,
Oh yeah.
Yes,
they're
we got
raised up
some.
and then
Yeah.
we
We
have
have
those
one.
buckets here,
Yeah.
and it goes to the music. So it's kind of like you think you're like they're drumming, and it'll be like moving to the left, moving to the right. They are doing some arm curls in there, leg curls, but it's just a different way to exercise to the rhythm of the beat and the music. You don't have to have any rhythm either. Trust me, anybody,
That's a
anything.
good
you
thing.
Right? Doesn't have to do that. That's a way to exercise. So it's it's been unique. It's one of those that has been a favorite, and again, we have an instructor that does a great job with
It's
that.
all about getting people to move.
Right, move. It doesn't
that
have to be
circulation.
traditional.
You know all about that. You
lift
specialized
weights.
in that in
Right.
school.
I did,
Yeah. Did
Yeah,
you
you
come
got
up
your
with these
degree in what
activities?
exercises.
So the
as
Drums
part of
Alive,
your
I did
background?
not. That was somebody who brought the proposal to us,
yeah.
and I, proposed it, and we said, "Let's do it." So
Yeah,
I
looks
do want to
good.
put that out there.
Sure.
Like we have a proposal form. There's opportunities for people who, if you have this, you have to make sure you do have the proper certification and different things going on there. But we always are looking to expand offerings, and so keep it
wonderful.
in mind.
So
Well,
you've
the
got
show
an
goes
open
by
gym.
fast,
You got
so-
an open gym as well.
Yeah, open gym is a popular one just because you can come and do whatever,
Yeah.
you're pleased there. I will say, if Zumba's on there,
Yep.
we have
Please,
Zumba.
yes.
They love it's Wednesdays and Saturdays. It is our Sunday event for the girls in
Oh,
the sport
really?
too. Come out. Give it a try. And a free,
love dance.
Free class, on Sunday. Come
Yeah.
out and
Susan,
try
you
the
should
Zumba.
go.
I should.
should.
I do love
You
dance.
are eligible for this
I
event.
spent a
This
lot
is-
of time
This is not just for kids.
dancing.
This is
five,
for
five.
females of all
as I was
ages.
growing up, I was always dancing.
You're going to say,
And,
Shakira, your hips don't lie or whatever. I can't. I would say I might not have the rhythm to the Zumba, but it is fun when you get the music and you feel the spirit.
it's all about the spirit. I'm not sure I'm a great dancer, but it certainly is in the spirit.
That sounds good.
That's all that matters. You know what?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the camaraderie you talk about with sports and everything. Again, a class setting sometimes, a lot of times, it's other people motivating you or encouraging you. And it's all walks of life that come in there. So you're like, I don't have the right gym outfit. Don't worry about that.
All right.
Wear with something that just lets you move and you're good to go.
I love that. I love that.
This is a good time then to remind everybody about, you alluded to the event on Sunday. Tell us all about the event that's happening this Sunday, February 8th, starting at 8:30 at the community center.
Okay, National Girls and Women in Sports Day. It's our way to celebrate, to promote and encourage young and older, all the above, to exercise. Come in. It's open 8:30 to 12. You don't need a membership, anything. Free of charge. Open swim classes. And there is a basketball clinic too. So any girls out there, if you haven't registered yet, come and join us. It's we do have ages 6 to 14.
Okay, so it's walk-in, right? I mean, you can walk in.
Yeah. You don't have to, register or anything like that.
Yeah,
But,
you have to
certainly
register when you come in.
You do. As
You're
far
gonna
as
sign up or
sign
something?
up,
Yeah,
so we
sign
can
up.
then we want to
It's
make
real
sure
simple.
exactly, literally
Yeah.
sign away and say yes.
And
we
it
want to
is open
participate.
to older women as well.
Older women, and because in their aqua aerobics class is going to be there
Women
too.
that are older than 14?
So literally,
Okay.
the basketball part is
Oh, the basketball part.
basketball.
Oh, that's for young
is,
kids. That makes
6 to
sense.
14. Now again, it's all right if you want to come and you're older. Just understand that you're going to have that age group in there.
Right.
But as far as the facility coming in and enjoying the swimming and classes and everything, that we're going to say is 0 to 99 plus. That's who can come.
That's
All right, we love that.
and,
We want
and
to
the
be
focus
there.
is on women.
Focuses on
women and girls.
Yeah.
Empowering women through sport and keeping active.
Fantastic. That's
Love it.
one of my lifelong goals was to try to help do that, and I think I did succeed.
Yeah, one other thing. I think there maybe some people haven't actually. They've driven by the recreation center. Tell us a little bit about the building and where the exercises and the great. I mean, it's a beautiful building. I'm so proud of it. Tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. So there's a gymnasium in there, and then there is a swimming pool. So those are the two key components. I say that the big there, but that's where the locker rooms are in there. So we have some people that literally, instead of working out that day, they'll just come in to shower. They're like, you know what, I need to freshen up, and then I'll head to work.
I'll bet you have that.
Yes, we do. And then there's an upper level, call it the mezzanine level there. There's some equipment and wrestling mats there, and as far as like our cardio bikes and the things along there. So that's the heart of that. And then I will say there's a smaller fitness room area that has treadmills, stair climbers, and free weights in there as well. So it's not your big mega, you think of a gymnasium place. And I think that's what sometimes is nice when you walk in there. It's a welcoming feeling, so
Yes.
it's not like too scary of an environment. It's just a matter of come and ask, and our front desk will be happy to give you the more information. Always a smile and a welcoming face. We welcome you and hope you're coming. Just give it a try. I think sometimes it's a matter of the first step is just getting there,
Right.
and then the rest can
Yeah.
kind of fall into place.
And it's really easy. You just go in the door, and they're the people greeting you in the reception area. And then I go over sometimes when the cafeteria is open or there's an event going on in the stage.
right. So, yeah.
So you've got a stage there, and then there's a place for people to play cards or something. You can bring your little
so that's
group
the
in there.
senior center side, correct?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
all one building, but
It's
I
all
will
connected,
say
though.
it
It
is
all-
connected. I tell you,
it's
if you
great.
haven't ever been to the senior center, it's beautiful.
It
you
is.
have to. People are friendly and wonderful there too. So, and that's some of the things you were talking about, Susan.
Yeah. Yes.
It's just nice and welcoming. I talk
It
about
is. It's
the
gorgeous.
building is it's a community and it's
Yeah.
welcoming. So I think it's you can find something, and if not, and you have ideas you want to propose, we ask you to bring those forward too.
Oh,
because
yeah.
you never know.
It's all
You
about
never know.
communication.
Well, we worked hard on that. Susan got the initial grant for that place, and then the taxpayers paid the rest of it in a referendum. And one of the selling points for me that I told when I went around town telling people you should support this, it's a great way to bring our generations together. You got the senior center, and you got a lot of kids, and it's so nice to mix them together. The kids can learn a lot from the seniors, and the seniors can learn a lot from the kids.
So true.
Because never before have we had generation gaps like we have now because of the technical explosion. Like, I'm not that great with IT. I can handle it, but there's a lot of stuff I don't know.
Yeah.
And I have to get help from younger people like Susan, like our daughter Leslie, like our grandkids, and like our consultant that we use. And because I just don't know everything there is to know about my computer and my phone. I taught a class at community college one semester, and a lot of kids there never even heard of World War II. But they could take
goodness.
my phone, and they could do things with it I never dreamed
But they know
I
how
could
to
do.
Google it.
They know. They know.
They know
That's
to-
right.
If they know about it, they can Google it.
They knew how to
How
look
do you
it up.
spell that?
They knew how to look it up. So the generations are really more divided than ever. And to have a place like that where the generations can come together is I think, wonderful. That's another aspect of the whole complex
Right.
that I like a lot.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I forgot to mention too, I think because I was thinking inside the facility, but there is in the summer, last year was the first time starting, it was a adult kickball league.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a blast with that. So I think they're going to build, hopefully get more teams involved. There was a the men's league, there's always a men's league basketball league. Well, this past fall, we had a women's first time doing the
fabulous.
Yeah,
women's
that's
league.
great.
Wonderful.
And the women, and again, I think more probably high school through upper whatever age
Yeah.
groups there, but they enjoyed it so much, so they're asking to have it. So
Yeah.
I think Mark, our program coordinator now, he's doing the registrations for men's and women's league starting in March. So maybe
Yeah,
part of
that's
that March
incredible,
Madness
starting
coming
in
up.
March.
Fabulous. Yeah,
Starting in March
Madness.
is really interesting.
Yeah.
It's sort of like the WNBA,
Yeah, right.
isn't it? Playing in that time of year. When does it end? If it starts in March.
For the league,
Yeah.
I think of right till right around
months?
Memorial Day. Yeah, so it's kind of a couple months
till
worth
it
before
starts to get really nice
to summer
outside.
time, right?
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
I think I played in the men's league for years here.
Yes.
Until I was about 45, 46, and it was pretty good.
Good.
But we played our games at the old Y, and then we also played up at the
Oh,
which
awesome.
was
I heard,
which was
yeah.
was where the recreation
Good
department
stuff
was,
was.
and I had a lot of fun playing in
I
those
bet,
leagues, and
right.
I missed that, and I'm
Yeah.
glad that I was really glad to see in your on your website that they have the men's league and the women's league playing into the winter,
Right.
the coldest months of the year, really, and going
Yeah, that
going into
finished.
spring.
Right.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. And I will say one of the things too, we don't have all the details out yet, but we're planning to do a 3-on-3 tournament, part of March Madness,
Yeah.
in March.
Well,
So
I wish I-
we'll be looking for
I love
teams to
that.
word out there to
That's-
get out there.
that's wonderful.
Kids, adults, whatever. We're going to try that.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
stay
if you
tuned.
have an,
Stay
if you have
tuned.
an over 80 league, maybe I can
All
play.
right. I'll be
I'll
calling
take
you.
my knees up.
You haven't never played league?
Maybe you have to have intergenerational. You have to have one from the 80s, one from
Oh, yeah,
in the
yeah.
40s
Yeah.
decade. And maybe
I think I could do well in over 80,
20.
over 80 men's league.
Yeah, I just want
But
to
that's
say
about it.
how pleased I am when we were talking about the senior center part of the building, and also right across the street there's Father Honan Terrace. We have a lot of seniors, and I would imagine that they love to come over to the building. And you've also got a wonderful program here called Cane Fitness and Self Defense. And I thought, wow,
That's
what
pretty
a
incredible.
And one of the worst things for seniors is balance, and being able to get that balance together and practicing it is one of the things that'll save so much trauma, so many problems. So I just want to tell us a little bit about that Cane Fitness and
Yes.
Self-Defense. Beautiful
You.
program.
Yes, thank you for bringing it up. And I think it's the first time around, it was so well received. I think we had over 20 participants in the class and really enjoyed it. And Joshua, the sensei, because he does a lot of, he does our tiny champs for little kids too, a karate thing. But
nice.
he came up and did the cane class. So he's the one that suggested it. It was a big hit. And it's it's about, depending on where you are in there, so it can be done from a chair, because some people are just they don't
Sure.
have the stability. They're doing the exercises in the chair, but he had the group up, and they're using if you had your own cane, you could use that. But they also had it's kind of like those foam. It was like candy canes, but it wasn't that. It was actual life size. Would be like a cane. So it was exercises with that, and incorporated a little self defense with it. So it was about balance. It was about strength. And you wouldn't think you're hearing what about cane exercises? But he incorporated that, and then a little bit of self defense in there too. And what would happen if you're in this situation? So building strength, confidence, and flexibility.
That's so important, and it's such a wonderful thing. So many people have, long-term arthritis or from a previous injury, or maybe suffered a stroke, so they need to understand where they are in space. They call that proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation.
Yes.
And these are important things for people who are a little bit older, or maybe even younger, but have these kinds of problems. And just getting that exercise in with a group is is just, I just can't say enough
Yeah.
about this. This is fabulous.
Yeah, so as long as there's interest, we'll keep that class up.
All right.
We're going to say one more time what's happening on Sunday, quickly, because
National
we're down
Girls
to our
Women's
last-
Sports Day. If you are, young to 0 to 99 women, we want you to come on out. We're going to celebrate you, and come see the Wyndham Community Center, 8:30 to noon.
That's Sunday, February 8th, folks. Coming right up this weekend, 2 days from today. Hope a lot of you can be there. I'm sure the program is going to be terrific, and I wholeheartedly recommend it. I also wanted to mention, I forgot to mention, we forgot to discuss, that's going to be for another show. You've been at 13, 14 years now.
Yeah.
You've been doing the color.
Color,
You are
yes.
the Wayne Norman of the women's
That's
broadcast.
right,
You
yeah.
do the color behind the
That's
scenes.
been fun. We'll have to talk about it
We'll
sometime.
have to talk
I've
about it
enjoyed
sometimes
Yeah.
on the show. We'll spend the whole show talking about it.
Absolutely.
'Cause
That's
it's great.
great.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Wow.
great.
Fabulous.
You've seen some of the. You're very familiar with the history of
Yeah.
UConn women's basketball.
I've got the history because I'm way back with that, but
You're a part of.
I was a part of
it.
the beginning, yes.
Yeah.
So back when, but I go my first 4 years of doing the color.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough that's when they won 4 straight in a row, and I thought that's all they ever did. You just win championships, right? So it's been fun to see that.
Yeah,
evolve.
I'm not going to put you on the spot and ask you what's the
Yeah.
best team of all time.
I know.
We,
Oh,
we will
gosh.
save that for
All right,
another
we'll save
time.
that for another
I don't.
time.
I don't want. I
Yeah.
told you. I told you this is not that kind of show. We're not gonna
I
put you on
want to
the
just
spot.
say thank you to Deb Fiske for being the recreation director, being on our show, having such a great history, being so involved in girls' sports. It's just been a real honor for us to have you here today with us.
Thank you so much. I
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Okay, this is Dennis O'Brien with Deb Fiske and Susan Johnson, Matt Rupar. We'll be back next week with another fabulous guest. Thank you.